Let us see the next question. A 2-year free for a share of the stock in ABC Ltd is as under. After 1 year and after 2 years. The price is given 100, it may increase to 108 or it may decrease to 95. Price after 2 years will increase to 116.64 or it may increase to 102.6, and like this information is given. Consider 2 years American call options on the stock of ABC Ltd with a strike price of rupees 98. So the exercise price is given as 98. The current price of the stock is rupees 100. P0 is given. Risk-free rate of return is on per annum with continuous compounding is 1.0517. Assume 2 time period of 1 year each. Using binomial method, calculate probability of the price moving up and down and expected payoff at the end of each notes N1, N2, N3. Round off up to 2 decimal points. This is a question from November 20 examination. Question number 1B, it was asked for 8 marks in examination. Before we start solving the question, let us have understanding of the new point which is there in the question as the continuous compounding. To give explanation of the same, I take a small example. Suppose today I make investment of 100 rupees at the rate of 10% for a time period of 1 year. Suppose. Then that 100 rupees will become rupees 110 at the end of the year. Now suppose the 100 rupees is invested at the rate of 10% for 1 year and the interest is semi-annually compounding. Suppose the interest is semi-annually compounding. Then in that case, how do we make the computation of the maturity? 100 into 1 plus I 10% divided by 2 raised to 2. That is the way we are required to compute the maturity. So 0.10 divided by 2, that is 0.05 plus 1. So it is 1.05. So what will happen? 100 into 1.05 raised to 2. That comes to 1.1025 into 100. That comes to 110.25. This is the maturity amount of the deposit at the end of the year, if at all the interest is semi-annually compounding. Now, if at all the interest is compounded instead of, suppose it is compounded on the quarterly basis, then in that case, what is the maturity amount of deposit? It is 100 into 1 plus I divided by M. M stands for number of times compounding done in a year, that is 4 in this example. So 0.1 divided by 4, that is 0.025 plus 1, that is 1.025 raised to 4, 2, 3, 4. In that case, it is 1.1038. So what happens at say, whenever there is an increase in the frequency of the compounding, with that the maturity amount of the deposit will marginally increase. You can see that say from 110 it increases to 110.25, 110.38 and so on. So if it is quarterly, the maturity is yet more. If it is, let us say, monthly, the maturity will further increase. If it is daily, then it will further increase. Okay, in case of daily, what will happen? 1 plus I divided by 365 raised to 365. This is what we understand is the way we will make the calculation. Instead of daily, suppose it is like every hour, suppose. Then in that case, can we say that it will be like this? it is every hour, then in that case 10% divided by 365 into 24 whole raised to 365 into 24. Okay, instead of every hour, suppose it is every minute. Suppose, then in that case it is into 60 into 60. Instead of every minute, if it is every second, okay, then 60 seconds in a minute into 60 further. Then this is what's the kind of answer that we will get. Really it is like, it sounds to be very funny, but so this is the concept that we have. Now if at all the compounding is yet for more number of time, not this much, not compounding is every second, the compounding is still more, then in that case it is given a name as the continuous compounding. Like that, so we understand that's the concept of the continuous compounding. Now why do we have the concept of the continuous compounding over here in derivatives? Friends, we know that the stock market prices are subject to constant fluctuation. It is not that say, the Reliance company security will have the fluctuation after every second. We know that say that is at one point of time there are number of traders say who constantly follow the price. In 1 second it is not necessary that say only there will be 1000 like the transactions say will take place, or only 2000. So there can be n number of transactions, and due to technology it is definitely possible that say you will be able to do the transaction say on continuous basis. That is the reason say we have say a term called continuous compounding over here. Okay, so now say this is a new point that say we have. Now using that say we are required to do the answer. Over here this question is like similar to the previous question that we did. We understand that over here we are required to make the computation of the probability of the price increase and decrease. That is the first thing that say we are required to do, and then we are required to make the computation of the payoff. We understand that say the strike price is 98. So in the first case the payoff will be 116.64 minus 98, that comes to 18.64. 102.6 minus 98 once again. So in that case the payoff is 4.6. In this case it will be 0. Now this 2 will be discounted over here, and so we are required to make a comparison. 108 minus 98, that comes to 10. 10 or present value of this, whichever is higher is required to be considered. This is 0. Why? Because the option is not worth exercising. 95 is less than 98. So whatever the discounted value of this will become the value of the option. Then whatever the value of the option at this point of time that you have will be discounted further over here to make the calculation of the premium. This is the way we are required to make the calculation of answer. Please write down answer. Answer of the question in that write down. If market price of share at the end of year 2 is more than rupees 98, comma, there will be a positive payoff, else payoff will be 0. Market price of the share after 2 years, 116.64, 102.6, and 90.25. payoff. In the first case, the payoff will be 116.64 minus 95, so 21.64. In the next case, 102.6 minus 95, that comes to 7.6. And in the last case, it will be 0. I'm sorry, the exercise price is 98. So in the first case, it will be 18.64. And in the next case, it will be 4.60. Write down answer. Then write down working note for calculating probability of price increase. In bracket I am writing P variable. So P is equal to spot into 1 plus RF minus D upon S whole divided by U minus D upon S. This is the formula to be applied. We know that's other formulas also, but this is what's one of the formula that you can always apply. I am taking the spot price as 100. I am doing answer. If you take 108 and do answer, that is also fine. 95 and you do answer, that is also fine. We can understand like this: 108 divided by 100. So that is an increase by 8%. Then 95 divided by 100. So that is a reduction by 5%. Okay. Then 108 plus 8%. So it is 116.64. 108 minus 5%. So 102.6. 95 plus 8%. So 102.6. 95 minus 5%. 90.25. So we understand that say the price may change in this proportion, same proportion every time. So we can compute the probability of the price increase by using one formula only. Spot is 100 into, friends, over here 1 plus RF is required to be mentioned in a slightly different method. It is e raised to RF into T. This is the way it is written. Minus D upon S, that is, oh sorry, minus it will be D. I have taken the spot, so it is minus D. That is 95 divided by 108 minus 95. So we understand that it is 100 into e raised to RF. RF stands for the risk-free rate of return, that is 0.05, into T. T stands for the time period. Minus 95 divided by 108 minus 95, that comes to 13. So 100 into e raised to RF into T is 1.05127. 1.05127 minus 95 divided by 13. So 105.127 minus 95 divided by 13. So 105.127 minus 95 upon 13. So 0.779. This is the answer. Next, calculation of present value of payoff, comma, after 1 year, if spot price is rupees 108, market price of the share, it will be 116.64, 102.6, probability 0.7790, 0.2210, payoff 116.64 minus 98, so it is 18.64, 102.6 minus 98, that is 4.6. Now I am assigning x variable to it, probability into x. So what happens at say 0.779 into 18.64, that comes to 14.52. Point 221 into 4.6, that is 1.02. So we understand that the present value of the same will be the amount of premium, that is amount of the payoff. So we understand it is 14.52 plus 1.02, that is 15.54. This is expected payoff, and this amount is going to be received at the end of the second year. Now we understand that it's a calculation of present value of payoff. It is expected payoff divided by 1 plus RF. So 15.54 divided by 1.05127. So 15.54 divided by 1.05127, that comes to 14.78. So we understand that say if after 1 year price is rupees 108, you have two options. You can exercise option right now. In that case, what you will get? 108 minus 98. You will get an amount of rupees 10 immediately, or otherwise 14.78. Which option is better? This option is better. Right on answer. Next, calculation of present value of expected payoff, comma, if spot price is rupees 95 after 1 year. In the write down answer, market price of the share will be 102.6 or 90.25. Probability 0.7790, 0.2210. Payoff. In the first case, the payoff is 102.6 minus 98, that is 4.6. In the second case, it will be 0. We'll assign x variable to it. Probability into x. With that, so we'll make the computation of the expected payoff, and say present value of the same will be calculated. So here it is 0.779 into 4.6. That is 3.58. 0. 3.58. Chalo, write an answer. Present value of expected payoff. It is expected payoff divided by 1 plus k. So it is 3.58 divided by 1.05127. So it is 3.41. This is the way the present value of expected payoff will be calculated. Now, spot price rupees 95. Again, there are two prices. There are two alternatives. Exercise right now. In that case, the payoff is 0. Why? Because the spot is less than exercise. Wait for 1 year. In that case, you will get 3.41 in present value term. Now the final answer. Calculation of premium. Market price of the share will be either 108 or 95. Probability 0.7790 and 0.221. Payoff. If the price increases to 108, the payoff value is 14.78. If the price falls down, the payoff value is 3.41. That's it. Probability into payoff and expected value will be found. This is x variable. Probability into x. 14.78 into 0.779. So it is 11.51. .41 into 0.221. So 0.75. So 11.51 plus 0.75, that is 12.26. This is the way we are required to make the computation of the expected payoff, and then it will be discounted to year 0 to find premium. Please write an answer. Premium is expected payoff divided by 1 plus k. 12.26 divided by 1.05127. That is 11.66. That is the amount of the call premium. Now going one by one with the question. The question says that, so what is the probability of the price moving up and down? So answer of the first question. Probability of the price moving up is 0.779 and moving down 0.221. Second, what is the expected payoff at the end of each node, and round off up to 2 decimal points. So we understand that, so that today, after 1 year and after 2 years. So today the market price is 100 and today the value of the option is 11.66. The price may increase at the end of the first year to rupees 108 and the price may decrease to rupees 95. If at all the price increases, then in that case the payoff is 14.78. And if it is falling down, then in that case it is 3.41. Afterwards, at the end of the second year, it will be 116.64 or otherwise it will decrease to 102.4. Price may increase to this or the price may decrease to 90.25. In the first case, the payoff is 18.64. In the next case, it is 4.6, and in the last case it is 0. This is the answer. So over here, friends, we understand that looking to the answer that we have done, we can see that it is really a lengthy question that we have. This is a really lengthy question that we have done, and recently we have done this kind of question, so we are basically very much clear with the process of doing answer. But at the same time, we can say that like in examination condition, to remember this specific method, because for this kind of method we don't have too many practice questions, hardly 1 or 2 examples that we have in the classwork homework including. So this is the way it was a good question asked in examination.